So Google just did something which I think is pretty big. For the longest time, there have been fractured services that we've had to use, and that means that we had to use Cursor for development. And then you sort of had to think about how are you going to deploy your application. So Superbase sort of stepped into the picture with its MCP. So many other companies also started creating their own MCP servers to address this problem. But really, hosting is its own thing that many people don't actually know what to do. Now Google steps in and they've created an end-to-end application development studio. And this is very interesting because I expected that Cursor or Windsurf could actually be able to do this because they are literally forks of VS Code. And I think I even tweeted at some point that, if you can actually do this and you can put these instances of VS Code on the web, you will actually be able to expand your reach and you'll be able to give like people development capabilities beyond just having it on device. But I guess Google has actually taken that and they've been the first one to do it. So they advertise this as a cloud-based agentic development environment designed to accelerate how you build, test, deploy, and run production quality AI applications all in one place. So really, I think this is what Cursor was actually meant to be, and maybe this is what Cursor was actually trying to do in the background, but Google has been the first one to do it, and I think they're actually going to take quite a huge share from what Cursor already has. And everything that you expect from like your application, your Cursor type application, is in here. Except the other thing is that you're going to see that there are a few tweaks to what they actually have. So they have so many different things. You can iterate quickly with an AI chat. You can jump into code whenever you want because again, all of these are based on um, a VS Code, and it looks similar to VS Code, even though it might not be VS Code. I'm not so sure. I'll check that out. And then you can preview instantly on any device. And this is very interesting because um, you can actually preview this on mobile as well. And that's the advantage of having some of these things in the cloud. And if you really want to, you can publish this directly to Firebase for app hosting. So I think this is a great move by Google. And this is something that perhaps, any other company should have done first, but for some reason it's only been done by Google. And that's not all. So they've announced they're actually going to have Gemini Code Assist agents, and that you can sign up here to get early access. I haven't yet done that. I was just checking out the studio itself. So let's just go into that actually. All right, so here's the studio. I'm just going to go back to the very beginning, and you can see that I've already made one application using Astro, but really you can make any sort of application that you want. Down here, you have a bunch of templates that are already given to you. You have Python, Java, .NET, I think most of the languages that you're thinking of, they probably do have it here. Um, so I think this is one of the issue. They're having a lot of demand, and so they might have issues. But let's just say we want a Python application, right? Um, and so the question becomes, what do we want to do? What do we name this? Let's name this interactive snake. I actually like the fact that they give you the choice between pip and poetry. I would also love if they put UV here as well, but hey, we can't be really picky at this point. I think this is even great enough. So let's just create that. And so it goes ahead and sets up everything for you, which is something that I really like. The fact that you don't have to install extensions for Python and you don't have to set up the workspace, doing all the installations for the requirements. These are all things that are done for you in the background. Um, and so that's really interesting. And then also you have the fact that it will scaffold and it will install the requirements. So you're just going to see it's going to take some time to do all this, but really it's going to set up a bunch of different things, even some boilerplate code. And at the end of the day, all you need to do is get started, right? So here we go. Um, this is your basic Flask application. So if we want to make changes right now, and I think maybe we'll look at how we can do the, we'll look at the different features that are actually available, and then we'll go into how we can make changes using the AI stuff. But you can see that it installs everything that you need, and then it will automatically try to run the web for you, which is really nice. So you can see that your application is already working, and you're getting that hello world from the Flask application. So um, besides you being able to interact with code, there are a number of other things that you can do. And so the Firebase Studio supports these things. So you can host your web application with Firebase directly from here. You can deploy it to the Cloud Run. You can use Google Gemini API in case you want to bring in your own API keys. And that's something else. This Firebase Studio comes in with its own free Google, um, you know, subscription. It's not a subscription as I would say, but they do give you access to Google Gemini. I'm guessing 2.5 Pro for free. Of course, the caveat to that is that you're probably giving up your code and the prompts for training other models down the line. So that's something that you might need to keep in mind. But you also have like maps. You can add maps platform directly. You can add secret manager, and there are a bunch of other integrations that they already have. Um, and I'm sure they're just going to keep on expanding this to make it that you can literally just come in here and then you can just get any sort of integration that you want across the Google services, um, and just be able to use that. And of course, extensions, you can install your own extensions. So this means that you're not kind of limited to what Google has to offer. I do see a point where you could actually install Klein or Klein or code actually into this very interface. I think you can do that. Let me just search here real quick. Yeah, so there you go. You can install Klein or code, and you can be able to bring in the likes of Claude and all these other things that can now also code alongside the Firebase, the Google Gemini, the Firebase Studio. So that's going to be something very interesting to look into. So let's start to get into Gemini. So when you come to this particular place, you can see Gemini, and we can tell it to do anything, just like any other thing. So when you use the built-in model, this one's the free one. And then you can also select like other modes. So if you want, you can bring in your own Gemini key. You can just select this, bring in your key, and then you can use any of the other models. You can use the Flash model, you can use all of these, but all of these are paid. The built-in one is free. So let's try something. Let's say um, make a booking application with exploding confetti when the user clicks book. Be as detailed as possible about the booking. All right, so let's send this and let's wait and see. Um, So obviously it has context about what you have already, and then it's just going to go ahead and then it's going to create those different files. So maybe I could just show you what it has here. So far, we only have like this index.html file. It has figured out that it needs to create these other files. And so when it's done and it's done thinking, it's going to give you like a structure to what it wants to do. You can review the changes, and then you can update the file when you're comfortable with that. And then it will go to like the next change. So basically, if you've used any one of these applications, cursor, windsurf, it's pretty much the same thing. And I would even go ahead and say that the fact that you have the ability to deploy this directly in the cloud is great. And the fact that you don't have to worry about some of the other things about you running stuff on your own PC. So it would actually be nice to know how much disk space you get with this, um, of course. But let's just go through this and let's see what exactly it gives us and if we're able to host it, right? Okay, cool. So I'm just accepting the changes right now. I'm not really doing anything too much. Okay. Is that it? Is it done? Okay. So let's try this. I would actually prefer that it probably I'd actually prefer that it probably did some styling. I don't know why. Oh, I think maybe I haven't accepted this change. Um, Let me see. I did accept it. Um, okay, that's a bit weird. I guess we could check out the style.css and see what's going on. Index.css. Maybe it just hadn't saved. Still, I mean, it's not showing up. Okay, I'll just go ahead and then I'll put in something and then we'll see what happens. So we have that. We have a time of, let's say this, number of guests, let's say 4, book. Hmm. I have a feeling maybe that didn't work out. So the page has no CSS and the button doesn't do what it's meant to. So I'm not so sure about the generative capabilities of this, but maybe it's just because this is an early preview. I do hope that it gets better in due time. Okay, let's update this file. Let's see what else changes. So maybe the JavaScript actually wasn't linked. I don't know why I did this though. I would have expected that it uses the package it installed directly. Okay, let's wait and see. Let's do a full reload. Hard restart. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and test it again. Yeah, so maybe this might not be the best example um, of this, but I think I'll need to test it some more and see, because that would be a really big letdown if, you know, the coding capabilities are not the best. And I've also tried this on another blog application, and I think I also didn't get the best out of it. So I'm just trying to wonder what could be the problem. Maybe I'm the one who's not doing it right. But I think we could be able to like do all these things. So maybe you could just deploy your app directly to Firebase, and let's see. So you have to authenticate with Firebase, and then you have to initialize Firebase hosting. And this is just directly inside of the studio itself, so you don't have to think about this. So this is really interesting. I want to test this out some more, and maybe we'll come out with another video explaining these things in details. But for the start, I think this is what's been missing from the entire ecosystem of all of these different VS Code forks. I think this is what's been missing from all of these VS Code forks, and this is a huge step forward in terms of like end-to-end software development. All right, thank you for watching. If you like this, please do like the video and also subscribe to the channel. I know that's a huge ask, but we're just starting out, and so we're hoping to maybe get more people on board for the channels, that we're able to push out more content, and that means that we're able to bring more good stuff to the channel. So thank you so much.